Hi, and welcome back to Beans and Bezels. Today we'll be looking at the Alkin Model Two. Alkin is a British microbrand based in Bristol and has been quietly designing and producing some excellent watches. Alkin was founded by Charlie Fowler, and after spending a few hours with the Model Two, it is clear to me that he has an excellent eye for design. The Model 2 is a compressor style dive watch, and these watches appear to be making a small comeback in the microbrand world. The JLC Polaris is one of my all time favorite watches, so you can say that I have a bit of a soft spot for compressor style watches. The Model 2 is currently available for pre order at a very reasonable price of 450 US dollars. Let's check it out. The case is 41 millimeters in diameter, 48 millimeters from lug to lug, and 12.8 millimeters in height. These dimensions make it accessible to a wide range of wrist sizes. The case appears to be a three-piece construction that is entirely brushed. There is a beveled upper case component, the bezel, that supports the slightly domed sapphire crystal. The circular silhouette is elegantly interrupted by the angular lugs that bend towards the wrist. The lugs span the entire height of the midcase and taper down nicely with well-defined surfaces. I really like the lug design and I think it suits the case perfectly. The lugs are drilled through, so strap changes are a breeze. The lugs, case, and end links sit quite snug with very little wiggle room on only one side of the case. Since this is a compressor style watch with an inner rotating bezel, there are two screw down crowns, each signed differently. The primary crown that operates the movement is situated at the 4 o'clock position, and the secondary crown that operates the bezel is situated at the 2 o'clock. They are identical in design and are comfortable, both easy to grip and operate. The crown operating experience feels a bit light to the touch, but I was informed that the final production units will offer a bit more resistance. There wasn't any stem wobble, but I did notice a bit of crown wobble on one of the crowns. Flipping it over, there's a screw-down exhibition case back. Together with the two screw-down crowns, this watch is rated for up to 300 meters of water resistance. This is worth noting since it has an exhibition case back and a relatively slim profile for a 300-meter diver. The Model 2 is offered in three color options: black, blue, and a fully loomed white dial. The outermost dial element is the elevated inner rotating bezel that can be adjusted by using the crown at 2 o'clock. The bezel has a triangular marker at 12 o'clock and Arabic numerals for all increments of 5. Like most inner bezels, it rotates without clicks and therefore the alignment can be as accurate as you want it to be. The finishing on the numerals is great, but I did find a strand of fabric on the bezel. But since this is a prototype, I will assume that the production versions will be held to higher standards. The next set of elements are the markers, which are an excellent combination of clearly legible white minute and seconds markers, recessed and loomed white hour markers, and aviation-style 36912 loomed markers that I absolutely love. Together, this comes across as an effortlessly legible dial. Let's move on to the hands. The hands continue this excellent legibility with their bright white painted exterior that is generously filled with BGW9 Superluminova. The hour hand is a well-proportioned arrow-style hand that is perfectly paired with simple minute and seconds hands. The minute and seconds hands extend up to and over their respective tracks, which automatically earns this watch extra points for legibility and practicality. To add to this, the seconds hand is entirely loomed. The entire dial comes across as being very well thought through, and the result is a perfectly pleasant reading experience. I'm a big fan of this dial design. For a roughly $450 watch, the quality of finishing on the dial is very good, and apart from that speck of fabric and a slightly uneven seconds hand tip, I couldn't find anything wrong with the dial. And to give credit where it is due, executing recessed elements on a sandwich dial perfectly is very challenging, and you will often see anomalies in paint and on the actual cutout surfaces. This watch had neither, so it is definitely deserving of recognition. I was informed that the loom on this prototype is of a lower intensity than what will eventually be produced, but I don't have any problems with it the way it currently is. So even if they don't make this better, it is very good as is. All the loomed elements are BGW9 Superluminova, and they are quite bright and retain their charge well. The inner bezel fades quicker than the rest of the elements, but that's okay. This watch houses a Miyota 9039, a movement that I've had good experiences with in the past. The exhibition case back gives you a good view of the movement that has some decoration but is mostly hidden by the boring Miyota rotor. But this movement is more about reliability than about great looks, so all is forgiven. I logged this watch over a 4-day period and observed an average accuracy of about plus 6 seconds per day, so overall within the manufacturer's spec for the movement. The 41mm diameter and 48mm lug-to-lug dimensions are just around the sweet spot for my 6¼ wrist. The 12.8mm height, together with the slim case back and angled lugs, help it sit very comfortably on the wrist. I really enjoyed wearing this watch, and I think the weight of 155 grams is perfect for a solid and substantial feeling wrist presence. The bracelet also helps the watch sit perfectly on the wrist with its generously articulating end links. I think it's worth repeating, I find this watch very, very comfortable. The end links are screw-based, articulate well, and appear to be of good quality. You'll recognize the clasp as it seems to be more popular among the better micro brands these days. The push-button clasp is completely milled and the quality is excellent for the price. There's 6 micro adjustment slots, so you're most certainly going to find a perfect fit. I've been informed that the Alkin logo is to be bigger on the production models, and I'm inclined to agree with that decision. To wrap things up, this is an excellent dive watch for the money. You're getting quality components. The case, the bracelet, clasp, and movement are all a step above what you typically see in microbrand dive watches under $500. This watch is also very comfortable on the wrist. Additionally, you're getting a dial that has been very thoughtfully designed. Every element on this dial has earned its right to be there and indicates careful and thorough design iterations. While there are a few other options in the compressor-style dive watch category, the Alkin Model 2 sits in a comfortable position, offering both value and quality in a dive watch subdomain that is not completely saturated with a million uninspired designs. Let me know what you think of this watch in the comments. Once again, thanks for watching and don't forget to read the full review in the link below.